Hey guys, I have been being asked Goldfinch or Maple Finance for my leading DeFi picks. I'm extremely bullish on real world assets, as you all know. I believe this is going to change the world as we know it. In 5 years, you are not going to go to a title office to sign for a home. Everything is going to be on the blockchain and it is going to come quicker than we know it. But in this video, we're going to do a little dive into Maple and Goldfinch. We're going to look at the recent price action of both and who are backing the projects. And finally, I'm going to let you all know if I could only hold one, which one would I hold? But first, I want to welcome you all back to Freeman Finance and Crypto, where if it makes money, it makes sense. I want to thank all of you for joining the video today. And if you are not a subscriber, please pause the video, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification, and welcome to the Freeman and Finance family. So guys, we have two different armies here and they are both very strong and bullish, but I do think these are both great projects. But this right here is Goldfinch. So let's do a review over Goldfinch and then we will get into who backs them, what the tokenomics look like before we move into Maple. And so as you can see here, 7.6% senior pool USDC APY with 100 million just about in active loan value with a 30-day protocol revenue of 100,000. I believe we will continue to see this number grow as RWA takes effect and gains popularity, especially with people like BlackRock backing them. So they have a lot of different deals that you can get into, they call them. And this is Latin sustainability, 17%. You can see here, this tells you the amount, the total amount, with the duration that it would be locked up. So they have certain deals where they are locked up and certain where they could be pulled at any time. And so this right here you can see is open ending at 8.63% interest on your USDC. I think that's a very good rate and especially something to look at during a bear market when potential interest rates in the real world are lower and DeFi is still taking precedent on chain, because with real world assets, as I've said before, people don't start buying a house because Bonk and Shiba Inu go down. Like, that does not happen. The real world keeps ticking on no matter the cyclical nature of the stock or the bear market. Now, are there slows down with economic activity? Of course there is. But being able to park money into a USDC high interest account is very, very bullish. But there is always interest with these, but the higher the interest, the higher the risk. So we've got to always keep that in mind too, family, the risk reward for all of this. So currently there is 75 million in loans with a loss rate of 2.79. Let's look exactly what that means. Total value of loans written down or written off as a proportion of the total loans issued on the Goldfinch protocol. So I'd be really interested to look at what the overall loss rate is for traditional loans. In fact, let's look that up real quick. Loss rate for traditional loans. Okay, so lower risk loans are 2.4%. Okay, so higher risk loans are 4.8% and lower risk loans are 2.4%. So I think that's good for us to look and see that something like Goldfinch is on the lower end of that. So that means that they're running their business pretty well. But we all know that they have a lot of backers. So let's kind of look into this and see what they look like. And so when we go to the fundraising, guys, and this is cryptorank.io. It's a very cool tool to see vesting schedules and see, who raised what. So we've all heard that Coinbase Ventures is invested in this, and that is why you see all of this in USDC. USDC is Circle, who is also heavily backed and partnered with Coinbase Ventures. So it makes sense that they are using USD Circle, which is a very good stablecoin in my opinion. But you can see back here there was an undisclosed amount, it says, or undisclosed type of round for $1 million. And that's when Coinbase Ventures got into that. And that was early 2021. Just 5 months later, they had a seed round of 11 million. So you can see right there the evaluation of the company had went up a lot. And that is when some of these other individual people and different, here's an angel investor, here's a venture capitalist, here's another venture capitalist. So a lot more people got in at this point and invested into it. And I know some people, like, including myself, fair launch projects. I like fair launch projects with things like Caspa, but things like this that are like a Web3 banking DeFi, they have to be venture capitalist, right? They have to have someone running the company because that's what it is. So I would not shy away from that in any way, but they do have some good people backing them. And when we look at the vesting schedule, to be unlocked May 11th, 2024 in 15 days. There's an unlock of 1.25 million, which is 1.09 of the max supply. And when we look at the price of Goldfinch currently, it is currently at $3.27 with a circulating supply of about 30 million with a max capped supply of 114 million. So there is inflation coming, but it is at a 1% every unlock, so it's not horrible. But when we look at the recent price action of this, guys, I am not a big technical analysis guy, drawing Fibonacci retracements and all that stuff, but I do know what patterns are. And if you Google bull flag, that is a bull flag, guys. Like, there is no doubt about it. And I normally don't Google on my videos, but I just want to show you all real quick. Look, a flagpole, boom, breakout. So when we look at this, guys, that looks like a flipping bull flag to me. And typically they say that the bull flag breaks out the length of the pole. So if you look at this, let's just say $2. The pole extended up to, I mean, it hit $6, but let's just say $5. So that's a $3 pole. Let's say it breaks out any time. That would instantly take us to $6 or $7 for GFI. And so we have had a retracement from the top of over $6 down almost 100% or 50% of that, but 100% with the current price to almost $3. And we can see now as this video is being recorded, it's $3.26. So I'm actively looking at getting a position very, very soon on Goldfinch. And then when we look at how active this business is, this project, they are extremely active. April 22nd, talking about the tokenization in finance. They are constantly March, February. There's more in April that I've seen. So they're definitely very active. Here they are posting about real world assets. And so Goldfinch is definitely a very good project backed by Coinbase Ventures. Even though Coinbase was one of the earlier investors at a lower seed round, that's because they get preferable treatment. These big entities get always a lower price because they bring more to the table. That's why, like, if you ever watch the video or the movie, the TV show Shark Tank, I'm sorry, I can't talk, guys. They're like, hey, we're sharks. We need a better rate because we bring more to the table versus some bozo on YouTube who's a degen and just likes finance, you know? But so that's Goldfinch. Let's jump into Maple Finance. So this is Maple Finance, guys. It's been around a while. As you can see, they have a total value locked of 240 million, 3.65 billion borrowed, and 54 million in interest owned. So their main thing is these target APY. They have a collateral stablecoin secure lending, which is 20%. So that's extremely high, guys. But always remember risk reward when it comes to using these protocols. So basically, you would give your finances to Maple and Maple would loan it out. So this is a lot better than a bank because the money that's in your savings account, you might get an extremely low interest on it. If you have a money market account, you may get 3, 4, 5% interest, but that's still a lot lower than what the actual bank's getting. So the bank is really utilizing us and making a lot of money off our back end. So Maple Direct also has altcoin secured lending with a target APY of 10%. Maple Direct corporate credit is 11% and their cash management is 5%. So obviously the 5% would probably be the less risky, but it's also the less that you would get out of it. When we look at Maple as well, they have a few rounds of funding. So they had a seed round around the same time in 2021 of 1.4 million. Then they had another one a little later that year, about a month earlier than GFI's was, of 2.5 million. And then towards the end of mid to end last year, they had a $5 million fund. And as you can see, they have a lot of venture capitalists as well. This is what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 venture capitalists that invested in this. So they are definitely highly backed by a lot of very big players in the industry, and even Circle right here backs them as well. And you can see all the other DeFi products that Circle backs. So whenever we get into the price of Maple currently, it doesn't look as bull flaggish as the previous one, as we could see from that picture that we looked at. But when we look, they have had historically a pretty good support around the $10 mark. So if we trend this down here, where this is right here, you can see it was 10 right here. And let me zoom up so y'all can see. And so if we get my big head out the way, right here is around the $10 to $12 mark is a lot of support. And last time we hit this, we were right here, and then we flew up to over $30 at the highest. And so I have exited part of my Maple at these higher parts because I was expecting a downtrend, but I am actively looking at getting back into it now that it is back down here, and I do expect to see Maple do extremely well. When we look at their Twitter or their X, they are also extremely active. They do have less followers. They're at 35,000, whereas Goldfinch is at 67,000. And so, but they are continually being active, talking about their protocol and everything, talking about their pool update for high yield secure lending, approaching $10 million in total value locked. So when we look at these two guys, Goldfinch is currently 449th in total overall market cap, with a market cap of 95 million. Maple is about over 100 less than that, with a market cap of 60 million. So Goldfinch is obviously a little higher market cap, but these are still very low when it comes to the total overall market cap. So they can both definitely run. And my personal opinion is that they will both run. If I could only hold one of these projects, I would hold Goldfinch GFI. I believe there's a couple reasons for that. Let me start off with, they are backed by Coinbase Ventures. That is extremely bullish. Anything or almost anything that is backed by Coinbase Ventures does extremely well. Another reason is just the tokenomics, okay? There may be a little more inflation coming with GFI, but whenever there's this total market cap of tokens of 115 million, that just lets the price be a little less. It does not matter if there is 14 million or 114 million, as long as the ratio of tokens to be unlocked and everything is the same. But just for a visual outlook for novice investors, they say, oh, I can own 500 Goldfinch for $1,500 versus I can only hold, 200 Maple or whatever it is because it's $13. So that's kind of a psychological thing, but I definitely do believe Goldfinch is the superior product, but I believe that they both have a long, successful path ahead of them. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you all for joining Freeman Finance and Crypto, where if it makes money, it makes sense, guys. I'm extremely bullish on RWA and DeFi, as you both know. Please watch one of these two videos up above and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all.